Alright, so I'm gonna make tutorial now. Uh, I'm also gonna record this as well. So this is a KOTOR 2 90% tutorial. Um, I think I'm gonna try get this done in one go. I believe if I could. If it's not, then if I can't get it done in one go, I'll definitely do it in two parts. So, okay, so new game. You don't want to pick any of the males. Female is faster. Quick character. You can just mash. Um, if what I would recommend, the only portrait I would recommend not getting is this one, is because just to avoid confusion. But if you don't get confused just as easily as I do, then you can pick this one. But any other portrait slash model is fine. Let's go with this one. Okay, so you're gonna hit play, and then you're going to hard buffer until you want to hard buffer quick save only once in order to get this menu up. If you immediately pull up this menu, the game will crash when you save, so you must quick save once there. But after that's done, you're going to manually save. And then you are not going to do the tutorial. You're going to hit 2 here. Then during this loading screen, you're going to hit Alt F4 to trigger an AMG. The thing about this cutscene, you don't want to do this way too early. You want to do it at this moment. The moment your character's out of the Batha tank, that is when you want to quick save and quick load, and you'll be out. If you do it way too early, you will be stuck in this Kolto tank. I said Batha tank, Kolto tank. But Kolto tank, and you will not be able to leave. You have to start the game over again. So don't do it too early. Thankfully, though, it is one of the first things you do in the run. So if you do get caught here, don't worry about it. Anyway, you're gonna make another manual save, and then you're gonna load to this save. Okay, so I'm gonna do a glitch called a hot shot. It's a pretty lengthy thing to explain that I will probably explain in another video. So I'll go through the process really quick. So basically what you want to do here is you want to AMG, then you want to hit the options menu. You don't want to hit the escape button. Do not hit the escape button or else it will close out this menu. And then you're going to hit exit game again. This is to prevent the game from fully closing. And then you're going to make sure that OK is highlighted, and you want to select save or load game. Selecting gameplay and anything below that is bad, so don't do that. As soon as both these are highlighted, you're going to hit enter. You're going to be back on the title screen. Now, the thing with hotshots is you actually have a menu open in the background. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to warp back to the prologue Ebonhawk. So in order to execute this, you are going to press down on the keyboard, and then you're going to hit load game. You're going to get this, and you're going to hit cancel on that. And if you did it correctly, you will see a quick save. You want to click on that. And then you're going to get this menu pop up. Just hit escape. And now you are the dev character, and you're on the prologue Ebonhawk. So you're going to immediately hit shift and then 4. That's the default keys. Reminder, I am using the default keys for this. So if you hear me say a certain combination of keys, I am using the default ones. So keep that in mind. But anyway, you're going to hit shift 4. That changes the force power you want. Scroll through here. And then you're just going to cast force speed, and then you're going to loot the cylinder. You're going to hack this computer terminal. You're going to loot that broken droid. because we're going to repair 3 CFD. And then you're going to repair him. And as soon as you're done repairing him, you're going to make another manual save. And that first manual save you made the very first part of the run, you're going to load that one. And then we're going to do that hotshot glitch again. And you're going to bust down, and then quick save. Bam, right there. And then, what I'm doing here is I'm making that fade out go away by holding mouse 1 and mouse 2 and then consistently hitting the quick save button to make the fade out go away faster. You're going to come at this medical computer here, and you're going to hit 4, 3, and then 6. You're going to immediately switch to 3 CFD. Going to loot this corpse, and after you loot that corpse, you're going to tab over to your main character, so this cutscene can immediately trigger. Then you're just going to watch the cutscene. You're going to mash 1... all the way. So what I do is I do a method called butterfly clicking. Now that's personal preference, but if you have a very difficult time with mashing and it's a one spam conversation like I did there, you can just go to the numpad enter and you can just mash all the way through if that's comfortable with you. Or you can just press the 1 key on the top left of your keyboard, whatever's personal preference for you, but that's just the way that I do mashing. Also, I did forget to mention that when you're right here, about right here, you're gonna turn on solo mode, and then have the main character go into here, activate the terminal, and then you're gonna have 3 CFD run in here and get the plasma torch. But after you're done in here, you're gonna immediately turn off solo mode. You're gonna bash down this door. You're gonna run all the way down this hallway. There's nothing so much to say here, so I'm just gonna run down this hallway. No glitches or anything. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna quick save, and then I'm gonna try to open the door with the default key R, which I did do. It is pretty tricky. It doesn't really, you know, don't fret too much if you don't get it. The default key is, for default action, is R. It should be R on the keyboard. You're gonna come over to this terminal, and then you're gonna level up. You're not gonna put anything into skills, so you're just gonna... I'll start from this. I'll start from the beginning. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna press enter, move your mouse up, and then you're gonna select force speed, enter, enter. Done. And then you're gonna run over to where Atten is and free him.
Are you an angel?
This is all one spam as well. Okay, so this is a very RNG heavy part. Hopefully I could show a good... Well, no, I don't think I could show a good example now. But I'll explain the RNG part of this. So, there's a chance that 3CFD could get stuck in this very long hallway by these droids. If he gets stuck, like, say, all the way down there... you know, I'd rather not take the time to, for me personally, I don't take the time to run all the way down this hallway, because that just takes way too long. But if he's, you know, sitting right here in this room, that would be fine. That's fine as well. This is actually the best outcome in the bad RNG part of it. The worst RNG is he could be all the way down to this room. And usually that happens, not very often, but if it does happen, like, say he gets stuck in, say, this room, if you click on the droid and then you hit 3, you'll disable the droid and he's now passable. these droids are not passable on their own. So, just something to note. But if you did have good RNG, he should follow you right here. Or in even some rare cases, he'll just appear right there when you talk to Adden. So that's also something to keep a note about. But when you do have 3 CFD, you're going to talk to him, and then you're going to press 9. So it didn't look like this did anything, but watch this. You're going to AMG, and then you're going to leave this up. I should do a small tutorial on this. In order to keep this AMG thing without having the pause on, you're gonna just hit the map screen twice, the map button twice, and then you're going to hit the space button to unpause the game. So this this little like square right here, this will trigger a cutscene. You are not going to get rid of this little box until this part occurs. Until the screen transitions to where the HK droid is. Once again, I'm going to just quick save a bunch there to get rid of that fade out faster. Then you're going to talk to Kreia. The reason we talk to Kreia here is just so we can get her in our party. Because if we don't get her in our party, the game will soft lock at the Ebon Hawk. It's the conversation for her is 3 and then 1 spam. For Atten, when you're walking up to him, it's 1 spam as well. So you're going to make a manual save here. This is a very important manual save, so you have to make it. You're going to talk to 3CFD again, and then you're going to press 7. And then this will warp you all the way over to T3. This is exactly where we want to be for this. Now, I'm going to explain this part. This part is a little bit confusing. So it's, if you have to rewind the video, please feel free to do so, because I did have a pretty difficult time learning this at first. So our main objective is to get from here to the Ebon Hawk. You're probably wondering, well, how the heck do you get to the Ebon Hawk if we haven't even done Paragus yet? If you casually have played the game, that door is locked usually, and you have to go through a gasoline pipe and go onto the Harbinger, go through dorms. That takes way too long. So what we're gonna do is we are going to hotshot, because we're actually in the place where we want to go. You're gonna hit down on the main menu. You're gonna hit quick save. You're gonna mash out these menus again. So we're dev character. You're gonna make a manual save here, and then we're going to load up this this save here when we made back at the Kolto tanks. And then we're going to hotshot there. Once again, do the hotshot. And then Atten and 3CFD will be in the Kolto in the medical bay room. This is where they want to be. This is why we needed to make this save here. And I'll show you why in just this moment. So we're going to make another manual save. And then we're going to load this manual save we have at the hangar bay where T3 was. I'm going to hotshot here again. Okay, so this is a good moment for me to explain if this happens, because I was actually waiting for this to happen. If the capital quick save doesn't happen, you're going to hit cancel. You're not going to hit anything on your keyboard. You're going to hit cancel, and then when you're back here, you're going to hit up and then down. And then you're going to hit cancel again, up, down, until it appears. And if it does appear, click on it. And we're in front of the Ebon Hawk. So I'll explain why that works really quick. So hotshots in this game and KOTOR 1 are both really, really weird glitches. So because we needed to make that save back at the Kolto tank, that actually shares the same coordinates as in front of the Ebon Hawk. So when we hotshot into that Kolto tank save, that one I made earlier, this area, when you hotshot back into this area, it warps Adden and 3CFD to this same spot. It does not warp the main character, however. It only works with party members for coordinate hotshot warping. So keep in mind for that. The main character cannot coordinate hotshot warp. Only party members. I might go into a different video on a very in-depth explanation on this, but that's only very brief, and I'm going to keep it brief just for the sake of this tutorial. So after if you have successfully have done the hotshot, go ahead and enter the Ebon Hawk with 3CFD. You're going to hit 1.
Quick, we're gonna need some time to fire up the engines. Let's give the laser turret a workout.
And this part is an auto-scroller. There's nothing you can do to speed it up. You can only lose time on it. What I would recommend doing, so you're going to come over here, blast that Sith Guard, and then you're going to come over here, and you're just going to spam to where all these boxes are. What I would recommend, I highly recommend not doing is going all the way to the left. Because if you go all the way to the left, the guards will come out a lot slower. So I recommend doing it probably right here for safety. About this spot. I do use an audio cue for when I'm getting close to the end of the fight. I'll let you know when that is. So this part in the song, that's usually how I tell that I'm like at the end. And when this comes up, after you're done with all the Sith troops, you're gonna hit 1. Okay, so nothing happened. So that's normal. You're gonna talk to Atten, and then you're gonna talk to him again. They're gonna hit 4, and then 3, then 3 again. This will skip all the conversations with Atten and Kreia, except you still have to go talk to Kreia here. So it will be 2 spam until you get to the 1. And then you're going to hit 1 when that comes up. When the bracket selection comes up, you're going to hit 5 and then 1. For all the conversations, I will have a little walkthrough of all the important combos that we do in the game. So you're gonna come that past conversation, that was 1 spam. Then you're gonna select Tila Station. You're gonna leave your mouse at the top right corner of the screen, and then you're gonna hit Enter, and then you're gonna mash F4, the quick save button. Then you're going to load the game. So our main goal is to get to the Ithorian hangar bay, and that's what we're gonna do. So you're gonna make a save, and if you made that manual save earlier in front of 3CFD, we're gonna use this one. We're gonna hotshot to this save. Then as soon as you get on the Ebon Hawk, you're going to manual save again. Then you're going to go back to the dock module. You're going to hotshot to this save with that manual save we just made. Oh yeah, also, I did forget to mention, but you do want to switch to the Kill Blaster, which is H by default on the Ebon Hawk. That was my bad. So, Kreia and Atten should be in the Ithorian hangar bay if you did it correctly. You're going to then make a U-turn in front of this guard here in order to trigger him right away. Walking in front of him to the right will not trigger him right away, so it's why you have to make that little U-turn. That U-shaped walk path. Also, very important to turn on solo mode here. That fight could either go really fast or really slow. I like it usually when it goes slow because you can take the time with Kreia and get the information terminal with her. When you get to this terminal, you're just going to press 2 to log out. The reason we do this is so we can get a transit point later on. And you're going to talk to the droid, and then you're going to press 1. Do not press 2, or else you'll take them to Jana Lorso instead, and that's what we do not want. Shift 4, and then you're going to make a manual save here. This is for a little bit later on. To skip a long walk. Then you're going to press 2 and then 1 when you get to this computer module here. Computer terminal, I mean. So your party disappeared. The reason your party members disappears is because they usually disappear because they're in that jail there and they're not technically in my party anymore. You're going to make a manual save right outside the cantina. And then you're going to hotshot to that. Okay, we're going to need to do that. Okay. The reason we do this hot shot is to get our Kill Blaster and lightsaber back. So we don't have to go to the lockers, because that takes up way too much time. You're going to cast Force Speed. I recommend casting Force Speed after you're done talking to Luxa there. You're going to immediately switch to your Kill Blaster, because we're going to use that in a moment. That Luxa and that Rodian combo are all one spam conversations. As well as that Ithorian at the dock module and that lady at the front desk are all one spam. This door is a little bit tricky. If you speedrun KOTOR 1 before, it's very similar to the, oh god, I forgot his name already. Trask. It's very similar to the Trask hard buffer. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your mouse up at the top, and then you're gonna have your character move. And then you're going to hit R and then immediately quick save. And then you're going to load that save. And it'll skip this fight in this room. So you don't have to kill Benok. Talking to that Gamorrean, once again, one spam. And then Slusk will be one spam. So, nothing so much to say about this fight. The Kill Blaster eliminates every enemy in one hit, including bosses. You're gonna make a manual save. And I remember that save we made earlier. A good visual cue that I like to use is it's directly below the autosave that we made. So that's something really important, really good to remember if you want to go, you're trying to go fast in this run. Once again, hot shots. And then when you load back into this area, it's going to immediately load the residential module. And that's normal. You're going to go back, and then when you re-enter the Ithorian compound, you're going to immediately add Kreia, and then you're going to immediately put on solo mode. And you're going to go to Choto Habat to progress the next quest. And then you're going to use Kreia to go to Entertainment Module. And then use her to go into the Cantina. You're going to throw on solo mode. And you're going to go to Koron Fault. And then one spam. And then use Kreia to leave the Cantina. And then use her to go to the information terminal, 2, and then 2. Also, the information terminal to get to the entertainment module was also 2, 2. You are not going to put on solo mode here. Instead, you're going to have Kreia run all the way to this information terminal. That conversation with Kreia, just once spam it, and then when you get to this information terminal, immediately turn on solo mode, and then run to apartment B2 with Oppo Chano. This conversation is at 1 and then 2 spam. 2, 2. Okay, so I added Atten here. This is very important. You're going to stuff him in this corner. And then you're going to make a manual save here. Then you're going to have Kreia or main character, it doesn't really matter which one. Go to that terminal and then press 2, 2 again. You're going to immediately enter the Zerka office. And then B4D4 will talk to you. You're just going to press 3. And then you are not going to manually save here. Instead, you're going to hotshot. Didn't work. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There we go. So immediately when you load into this save, you're going to press 3 again, and you're going to immediately turn on solo mode if it's not already on. So immediately turn that on, because if you leave solo mode off, your main character will run through the Zerka office, and he'll end up right there, and that's what you don't want. You want him in front of B4D4. But anyway, once Atten is inside, you're going to hack into the Zerka mainframe. Do not talk to T1N1 here. Do not talk to him. If you talk to him, you will softlock the game. So, very important to remember that. So, this spot right here for Kreia, you know, it could, I think it could be like right here, but put her in this like little white square box thingy and then make a manual save. We're not going to use that manual save anytime soon. It'll instead be near the end of the run, but you still want to save there. Switch back to your main character once you're done with Kreia and Atten, and then talk to B4D4 with main character. All these convos are 1 spam. So because we hacked into the Zerka mainframe earlier, that actually skips us having to go all the way to the Zerka mainframe room with B4D4. So we skip that entire walk, and we can immediately leave. So go to this terminal here, and then hit 2 and then 1. Then you're going to go to this terminal, press 1. And you're going to immediately enter this ship here. Spam this convo. And then during this load screen, you're going to Alt F4. And then you're going to hit enter. And then once you hear a beeping sound, quick save, quick load. And after the load is done, you're going to talk to 3CFD. And then you're going to press 1. Allow me to add companions 3C. It gives us every party member in the game except for Mira or Hanhar, because 3CFD is occupying their spot, and there's currently no way to get rid of him at this point. Unless you were able to do... Unless you did the prologue tutorial, that is, and got rid of him there, but it's not worth it in other categories. I think he actually breaks the other categories. That's why we don't use him in all planets and all quests, for example. So anyway, there's no need to remove him. He gets automatically removed once you select that option. So I'm going to be using a trick called save teleporting. So my save teleports at this point are really big. So in order to execute a save teleport, it's very simple. You're going to hold mouse 1 and mouse 2, and then you're going to quick save. This is much faster than casting force speed and running with that. And this is the primary way of movement for all of Tilo's surface. And pretty much the rest of the game, too. If you trigger that cutscene, spam it. There is a chance that you could save teleport over it, but it doesn't happen very often. You could technically hard buffer it, but it's not worth, in my opinion. Once you get to this minefield, do not quick save, or else you could possibly crash the game. So AMG, and then you're going to quick save, and then as soon as this cutscene comes up, cancel out that menu, quick save, quick load, and then you're gonna aim towards this spot. We're basically going to skip this fight. It's a pretty easy skip. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to hard buffer this cutscene, but it'll throw me back to a different position, and then I'm just going to keep hard buffering until I see that happen. See, right there. As soon as that happens, about 1 or 2 after that transition happens, go ahead and load your game. Do not quick save here, because you quick save teleport into these mines, you will crash the game. So just run through them. This is a pretty tricky save teleport. Basically what we're doing is we're going to save teleport into the old military base without going to that terminal right there. Because that takes too long and we don't want to do that. It's a pretty finicky skip, but once you do get it, that should happen. So you're going to manually save the game here. We're going to do another hotshot. The very first manual save you made at the beginning of the run, load up that one. I forgot one thing. Please scratch that. What you're gonna do first is you're gonna add Visas and Kreia. And then you're gonna manually save your game, and then you're gonna load this, the very first save you made at the beginning of the game, and hotshot to that. You're going to manually save the game again. And then you're going to load up the game back at the military base. You're going to hotshot here. So remember when I talked about coordinate hotshot warping earlier? This is exactly what we're doing. So when you get back to your main character, unequip everything, the Kill Blaster and the lightsaber. You're going to tab over to Visas. I recommend the lightsaber as default, but if you choose the Kill Blaster as default, don't worry about it, because you can switch weapons too. So what that hotshot coordinate warp did, it worked me all the way from the entrance of this area all the way to the hangar bay. And it basically skips all those enemies past all those hallways that used to be very RNG and used to cost a lot of time if we got stunned. So this is a very neat hot shot. So what you're going to do, you're going to have Visas do all the running through this area. And then as soon as you get to this droid, shoot at it, because this droid will annoy us later on. So when you get to this part, you're going to stick to this corner of the wall. There's a trigger right here that makes you talk to this Twi'lek. We don't want that. The box to talk to him doesn't get to this corner. so we can squeeze through here without him talking to us. Gonna use some save teleports. I would recommend making a quick save here in case one of these droids does stun you, because that can happen and probably will happen in one of your runs. You're gonna eliminate all these, pick these droids off. Hit 1 on this terminal. And then you're gonna quick save and then just regular quick load. You're gonna hit L, which is the party member selection screen. Once you hit OK, though, you're gonna get tabbed back to main character. We don't want to be tabbed at main character. We want to be tabbed at VSIS, because when we have VSIS with us, we'll have Kreia teleport to her instead of the main character. So it's very important you highlight VSIS for this part. Nothing too much to say about this part. I do still recommend to stay away from the gas vents, as well as in these previous areas where I did skip by them. If VSIS does get poisoned, it's very dangerous. Because VSIS has such low health. Yeah, only 30 health. And we want to make sure that she does not die at this part. At all. It's a very bad thing if she does. So you're going to AMG here, and then you're going to interact with this terminal and hit 1. You are not going to cancel this menu out until you reach this part, until this door is fully open. And you must quick save and quick load as fast as possible at that section. If you don't, the game will crash. I know I'm probably, this game is just unstable in general. So if you hear me talking about crashes, then it's just the game being unstable. You're gonna have Kreia, save teleport, more. Okay, so after you open that door, you're gonna unequip both the Kill Blaster and the Lightsaber. It's very crucial that you do unequip those 2 items. And then after that's done, you're going to make a manual save here. This manual save is very crucial as well, as I'll explain, and it will become relevant in just a moment. You're gonna hard buffer this cutscene, immediately load in. You're going to want to make another manual save here too. And the reason for making a manual save here is because this area in particular racks up a lot of memory. So basically how save teleports work is the more memory you have or used, the larger your save teleports go. We cannot skip this cutscene at the moment. I have tried ways to skipping this particular cutscene, but nothing has worked. You're gonna hard buffer this cutscene. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a manual save. And then you're gonna load into the military base. You're gonna hotshot there. And as soon as you're here, you're going to add 3 CFD. You're going to make another manual save. You're going to go back to the Polar Academy. And then you're going to hotshot back here. Oops, I screwed that up. My bad. I wasn't paying attention. Ignore that part. There we go. Okay, if you did it correctly, then 3 CFD will be here. This is the super broken part of the game now. You know, you can equip the Kill Blaster and the Lightsaber before or after you talk to him. Doesn't really matter. But talk to 3 CFD, and then you're gonna hit 2. Now, if you paid attention to what that option was, it said start endgame. So we're gonna go all the way to Atris's room, and then look what happens next. We're at the end of the game now. Yep, this is the end of the game. We skipped so many things with this. So I'll run down really quick what we just skipped. We skipped the Atris cutscene. We skipped having to go to rescuing all the Jedi Masters. We skipped having to meeting the Jedi Masters. All that stuff is just completely eliminated. Now, if you paid attention to the older any percent, we just skipped Duxon, we skipped Onderon, we skipped Dantooine skip, we skipped meeting up with the Jedi Council at the rebuilt Jedi Enclave, we skipped the Atris fight with the Handmaiden. We skipped those 5 things with just a single dialogue option. All because of this dude right here. What the heck? But anyway, as soon as you're done with that, you're going to save teleport past Mandalore here. If you want, you can cast Force Speed if you're, if you're not very, if you can't control your save teleports so much. But I do like using save teleports here more. Nah, we'll keep going. And my save teleports aren't huge because I casted Force Speed. But save teleports are still the way to go for movement. So you don't want to do what I just did there. You're gonna leave your mouse at the top right of the corner before you load into the Ravager, and then as soon as the load is done, you're gonna spam quick save and then hard buffer in. So the save we made on the on the polar part. Oh, I do have to make a manual save here, though. Do make a manual save. We're going to load up this one. And then we're going to make another manual save here. Then we're going to go back to the Ravager. And then hotshot here. And then you're going to immediately AMG. Show by in a moment. And you're going to cancel this, and you're going to quick save and then quick load. And then you'll have Visas and Kreia both on the Ravager. So you're going to turn on solo mode here too. And you're going to open this door with Kreia, and then you're going to leave her in this doorway, and then make a manual save. And then you're going to use the main character to do Ravager. That's it. It's more straightforward than the rest of the game is. No, there's stuff that still isn't straightforward in Ravager, as you will see. Of course there isn't. Or don't be ridiculous. So, save teleports, once again, are the main way of movement. My recommended way of movement here. If you do get low on health, do cast Master Heal. Don't be afraid to use it. It doesn't really cost so much time at all either. So this is a very important part. You're going to AMG here. You're going to keep this menu up, and you are not going to get rid of this menu until this dialogue. You're going to you make sure that the cancel's highlighted. You're going to hit enter on that. You're going to hit quick save and then quick load. So what this does is this skips us from having to get the 4th proton core. So we don't have to run all the way to the missile bay and get the proton core there. And you're going to run into the Ravager bridge. Upon entering, do whip out your kill blaster. Do not turn on solo mode here. We actually need Visas and Kreia to die during this part. And they will die because Visas and Kreia both have very low health. So don't worry about them not dying. Also, yeah, I don't think we should bring Visas here. Because she'll have a conversation with Nihilus, and you don't want that. I should definitely fix that. Definitely fix that part. But anyway. We're gonna go to Mr. Darth Nihilus here. He's just gonna casually stun you. I would recommend to bring anyone other than Visas, pretty much. You can bring anyone else. But it doesn't look like that Visas is really bothering me so much here, so I think that's a good thing. Yeah, you don't want to bring Visas here, so that's my bad. Yeah, you don't want to bring her here. But if you do bring her on accident, then yeah. It's fine. It's not a huge time loss anyway. But anyway, you do want to make a manual save there. And we're gonna hotshot back to here. I will put a disclaimer with that part with Visas. Okay, so the reason we needed both Kreia and Visas dead there was to prevent the main character from loading into the Ravager bridge again. So that's why we needed him dead. But yeah, bring anyone else besides Visas. Anyone else besides Visas is okay. And then after this, you're just going to use Kreia to run into this part, and then we're done with Ravager. So this is the final part of the run. And it's very, very short too. It's literally less than a minute and a half long from when we load into Malachor. And the brokenness doesn't stop here. Alright, so you're going to make a manual save. And remember that one save we made where Kreia was in this, like, white box? We're going to use that save right now. You're going to make a manual save, and then you're going to load back into Malachor. You're going to hotshot here. Okay, and that with that coordinate back at the Zerka office, it teleports us to the other side of Malachor. It essentially skips all that walking. So you're going to run forward. You're going to go between these two rock columns where this green light is. And you're going to run directly into the next area. You're going to make another manual save. And then this time, you're going to load into the door. Remember that door earlier that we put Kreia in? We're going to use this for the last two hotshots of the run. So make a manual save. Load back into Malachor. And then save teleport. Now, the reason I didn't save teleport back at the depths is because, technically we're loading in from the Tilo save into the Malachor, and because we haven't used that much memory on Telos, that memory gets then transferred over to that save. So do remember that. Don't try to save teleport when you've hotshotted into that save that we used to get to Malachor depths. So anyway, you're gonna manually save here once you're inside Treyas Academy. You're gonna go back to that door quick save, that door save that we made, and then load back into the Treyas Academy. And then hotshot. This is the final hotshot of the run, by the way. So if you did it, congratulations. You're all done with the hotshots. And if you positioned Kreia correctly, you will be on the other side of the Treyas Academy. You can go directly to the final boss. So you're going to whip out your Kill Blaster. You're going to save teleport and then hard buffer Darth Treya's combo. I'm making a manual save just for fun here. Don't make a manual save. So for this part, you're going to skip the first phase of Darth Treya. In order to do that, you're going to hit 4, R, and then mouse 1 when you're hovered over Darth Treya like this. So you're going to get ready to mash all those buttons. And there you go. You skip phase 1. And then after this, you're going to just shoot Darth Treya. And then you're done with KOTOR 2. That's KOTOR 2 any percent. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I am also up for questions if you all need to... if y'all want to ask questions, feel free to ask them in the YouTube comments. So, yeah, thanks for watching.